alive, Vegas on the screen, feeling the flow, so pristine. Boom, as the beats align, electric dreams, they intertwine.
You do not.
Oh my gosh. So look.
So I can sit down and say, I'm having a really bad day. I'm sorry. You are watching Midlife Mischief.
How are you with avocados?
I love avocados. Are they a fruit?
If nobody eats, I shut down the whole house. I was so done. It was over.
I have menopause. We finally did it!
Interesting.
I have menopause. I'm waiting for the music to stop. Yeah, okay. It's gonna be one of those shows. Hi, welcome back. I'm Raquel Kearney-Ellicus, and that's Lynn Dula. And you have tuned into Midlife Mischief. Welcome to my chaos. We thought we had a new intro, and Aaron did work on a new intro, but he didn't show me, and I didn't show you, and I didn't see it. You didn't see it. Nobody saw it, so we didn't run it. And here we are. He thought it was the new one. Anyway, how are you, Lynn?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Life is lifing.
It's gonna be one of those evenings.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. You look good, though.
I thank you. I slid in from a meeting, and I didn't know if I was gonna make it. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's why I sent that message like, are we doing this tonight or what?
Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little panicked. I looked at Aaron and I said, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do this myself, because it was too late to call Mary. Mary's in LA. No. Otherwise I would have called her and said, can you just get your phone, and then we'll send you a link and we'll FaceTime this whole thing. I don't care. I can't do this myself. I have nothing to talk about for an hour.
Hey, Lori.
Oh, Lori's on here. Hi, Lori. Oh my God, I finally figured out how to cast from my iPhone to my Android TV. You are big and bold in my living room. Well, I would prefer I was smaller, but that's okay. I'm working on it.
I want to try that. That's cool.
What?
Cast it onto my television so I can see it, big. I like that.
Do you have YouTube?
Of course.
Well, then put on your YouTube. You don't have to cast anything. We are live on YouTube as we speak.
Why didn't I know that?
You did. And wait, hang on. I just want to make sure I'm right. Aaron, am I right? We are live on YouTube right now? Yep. Yeah, and Instagram. So you don't have to cast anything. Yeah.
Lena says hello.
That is
Hi, Rena.
awesome. I had no idea. Hey, Rena.
Yes, so you too could have a TV behind you playing yourself.
I'm echoing.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, there was an echo? Oh, I didn't hear an echo.
On Lori's side, Lori has an echo.
Oh, okay. Not anymore. He said he fixed it. Okay, so how was your week? Let's do a recap. I want to hear about your week.
My week has been good. It's been good. Let me tell you, we had a 12-hour meltdown over the whole TikTok ban debacle. 'Cause you know I have an 11-year-old
Yes.
who is
Obsessed?
living and breathing TikTok. She has her own little channel or whatever, and
I didn't
she
know
does
that.
all her. Oh my gosh!
Now I have to go
Yeah,
follow
she's had
her.
it for a long. She's had it for a while. She has I think she said she has 5,000 people or something. And
Seriously? I have like 2.
monitoring monitoring her activity on this thing has been a little bit challenging. Just
Okay.
making sure that the content is good for her and she's not putting our family business on TikTok.
Yeah, the echo's gone. Was there an echo on your end too, Rena? Okay, well I'm just reading it, honey. Okay. Wow. My husband has menopause too. A little cranky today. Sorry, back to Lauren.
She has a lot going on.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. So Lauren had a meltdown.
Yes. It only lasted for, like I said, the 12-hour period. This morning, I didn't tell her TikTok was back up. I was trying to, I know. I was like,
Oh,
maybe
no.
we can have a cleanse of technology for a minute. No,
No.
it didn't work. No. She saw it on my phone.
So she didn't
And
try
was like,
she didn't try to go over to the red note.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, immediately.
Okay. Well,
Immediately.
tell
And then
her.
she comes in. She's like, Mom, so now I have to learn Mandarin.
See, and that's the first thing I said to you this morning when I woke up. You were the first person I talked to. I said, Lynn, I just spent my evening learning Chinese, and now TikTok's back. Damn it. Ni hao and everything. Ni hao. I learned how to say that. Ni hao. That's hi.
I was just trying to learn the translator part. I was like trying to translate my name
Oh,
because it assigned me some crazy.
I will teach you how to do that because you can actually change it to English and it's in your settings. It's not as difficult as you think. It's just a little overwhelming because you don't recognize like anything. But I can teach how to do that. Yeah.
So, but that was the and then of course I had events on Saturday, so I worked.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, it was work. So everything turned out nice.
Good.
And just other than listen, at my age, and I would say at our age, but I don't know your situation on this. But at my age, I'm finding that I am becoming my parents when it comes to obituaries.
Oh no. What are you doing?
Well, so many people. So back in the day, your parents had the newspaper and it would have everyone who died in the newspaper. And my parents made it a point to go through the obituaries to locate people that they knew that passed away.
You are not.
That was their thing.
You're not doing
No,
that, are you?
I'm not actively seeking it, but I am being thrust into it because on my social media accounts, I kid you not, this week it was name after name after name, and it was like a daily thing where to the point where I had to just disengage from Facebook and focus on Instagram and Blue Sky.
Because people
and
don't
Fanbase.
die on Instagram.
And if they do, no one knows.
We live longer on Instagram than our parents? I know I do, because they're not on Instagram. That is what you said. We are, Gen X is going to live longer than our parents, but our parents, my parents, not your parents, but my parents are in, my mother just turned 84, and my dad is going to be turning 80, how old is he turning? 87, I think, this year, in April. So they are not boomers, they are part of the greatest generation, and they are the last part of that generation. And I think your mom, if I remember correctly, is around the same age as my parents. Yeah, in her late 80s, middle late 80s.
She'll be 88.
Yeah,
she'll be 88.
Yeah, so around the same age. And it's interesting because we are Gen X, and we are also, so there's sort of, I come from two of the generations that have sort of been like forgotten for a long time, because you never hear anything about the generation that our parents are from. It's always the boomers, right?
Yeah, it's the boomers.
You don't hear any.
What were they called? What's the generation before the boomers? What were they called?
The greatest generation. That's what they're called. And I'm not going to argue with it, because they're old enough that, you know, they have seen way more than the rest of us, and, you know, God bless.
And that's why when you meet one of them now, they have such a I don't give a shit attitude.
Yeah.
They care. They're just like, whatever.
Yep.
Like, they have seen it all and nothing surprises them. They're like, you guys are worried about nothing, because they've seen some really hard times. So
yep. Well, yeah, they were. I mean, my dad was born in 1938.
Yeah, that's that age. Yeah.
My mom was born in 42. So they both, you know, they went through the first round of the Depression and survived it. Yeah. So a lot of the skills that I have, they did teach me, because they're of that generation where they did think that these skills may come in handy still. Whereas if your parents are boomers, they maybe didn't, because they were focused on working and doing things, and women's liberation had come around, and they were more, you know, focused on things out of the house. Whereas my parents' generation was still at that part where, you know, there's things that you need to learn just in case. It's always just in case. You know, you need to know these, and thank God they did, because with the price of things right now, some of those marketing skills, those budgeting skills, those cooking skills, especially the cooking, because you need to know when you go grocery shopping what you're cooking for dinner, because you can no longer just go and stock up your pantry. You actually have to plan a menu for the week. And you have to sit with the flyers, and you've got to know what you're doing, and you have to know how to feed X amount of people, and how many meals is this going to feed? Like, how it sounds ridiculous, but how many meals can you make out of one pot of spaghetti? You know, if you make a pot of sauce, how many meals can you make out of that? Well, there's you know, can you make it into a lasagna? Can you make it into a chili? Can you make it into whatever other things, you know? But there's a lot of people that come from, that were raised by the generation after our parents, that can't do that. They can't do it.
Really?
Yes. You'd be surprised.
Boomers?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. They were focused on all the other things, that because their newfound freedom, they weren't focused on getting through the Depression, or, you know, trying to figure out how to eat, feed everybody and get through things. They were just living day to day. That's the boomers. That's why they're all so cranky.
I also think, though, if you were born and raised in a city versus the country,
Okay.
you learned a different set of survival skills
Yes.
as a boomer. Okay, you learned a different set of survival skills because I think Virginia sits like in between the two. Some will
Yep.
say we're Southern, and then some will say we're not Southern. I think it depends on where you are in Virginia. So the part that I'm in, we are considered Southern. Okay, so we're a part of the Southern states, right?
Okay. Yep.
But if you're in Northern Virginia, which is closest to DC,
Mhm.
they don't consider themselves Southern. So the way we figure that out is if you can get sweet tea, you're in the South.
Yeah, see, Rena's agreeing with me. She said, I had boomer parents. They taught me next to nothing. I taught myself. And you know what? Yes, but now see, I'm only saying that
so
because
weird.
my husband was raised by boomers and he was a latchkey kid. And he was raised in the
was too.
city. But he was raised in the city. I was
Yeah.
raised by the older generation and I was raised in the country.
I want to explain to those who don't know what a latchkey kid is.
Okay, a latchkey kid, for those of you who are watching who are not Gen X, there's a group of...
Wait, if you're not Gen X, you need to get off of this podcast. Let's just say, 'cause we're
This
gonna
is
be
very
saying
true.
a lot of
Okay, this
things.
is very, very true. My bad.
Listen,
I apologize.
this is not for you.
Although I think that people who are not Gen X maybe should watch this podcast because they will end up in our position sooner or later. It's inevitable.
We're gonna
You
have
can't
to
skip
give
it.
them- We're gonna have to give them a guide,
Yeah, well,
a
that's-
terminology guide.
somebody should write that a
I mean, really.
generational guide to getting older written by Gen X. Basically, we call it "fuck it." It's very simple. Also,
We're
Reno
not
is
gonna
also a
start that.
latchkey kid. Okay, so I mean, it's Aaron and I are very different.
What
With
the fuck?
Aaron and I are very different with how we are aging and some of the skills that we know because we were raised by two different generations of parents. And it's very interesting because he's 2 years younger than I am.
By the way, you're getting lots of comments on Instagram.
Okay, well, I can't see Instagram, so.
Saying hard times create strong men create good times create good times.
Okay,
Create
okay.
weak men, weak men create
Okay.
hard times. I don't know.
Okay, well, all of that we will have to. I read the comments after we've done the show, so if we don't answer your comments, then we will when we read them after the show. So,
Or join on Facebook.
or switch over to Facebook so I can see you. That island is not the country. Okay, so I was raised on an island.
What island?
I did grow up on an island, Vancouver Island. It's a very big island, but it's still an island. I mean, you have to go on.
Australia?
No, Vancouver Island, off the coast of
Oh,
BC.
Vancouver. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So I mean, in order to go anywhere, you did have to get on a boat. So I mean, yes, I was raised on an island, but I did live in the country. There is a country part in the island. So, but it's very interesting to age with someone who was raised differently by a different generation. Does that make sense?
Where's the beef?
Yeah.
Where's the beef?
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
where's the beef?
But you never consider it because I thought if you were raised by boomers
Mhm.
before this conversation,
Mhm.
I actually thought if you were raised by boomers, you had basically the same education as far as life skills go, right? But there is a difference between a city
I agree,
boomer
Rena.
education and a country.
Yes.
So, like Rena said, that she was a city latchkey kid.
Yes, and so was Aaron. Yeah.
And see, I was a country latchkey kid. But what is the difference? Like, what could we compare to say, okay, well, what was different about your experience versus mine?
Okay, well, mine as a country, I don't think I was a latchkey kid because I believe my mom was usually home, or there was always somebody home when I got home from school. But for me, our biggest concern getting home from the bus to our home was the walk. Aaron wouldn't have had to walk that far unless he walked to school. But if you caught the bus, you wouldn't have. About a mile every day. See, I walked a little bit further than that. But my biggest issue was bears. His biggest issue would have been people, cars and people kidnapping him. I wasn't in any danger of being kidnapped. I was only in danger of being mauled to death by a bear. But I mean, that was about it. So once we got home, there was really no trouble you could get into. You were home by yourself and that was it. But I don't know. What was it like in the city for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I think I was in between. I'm listening to what you're saying. So I did walk quite a bit to get to and from school.
Yeah.
And what stands out to me is when I was in the 3rd grade. I walked home by myself. Now I'm the youngest, so everyone else was already in high school or graduated or whatever.
Robert Vidya. Oh,
Hey, Robert.
shouldn't you be watching a Trump thing somewhere? I'm pretty sure you're on the wrong channel there, buddy.
Stop. Are you serious?
What, no comment, Robert? Come on.
And you're watching the greatest show on the internet. All right, here we go. Go Vegas Live. Go Live Las Vegas. Hello, everyone. It's me, President Trump, the greatest president in the history of presidents.
Okay.
On Go Live
Okay.
Vegas.
Okay.
It's huge.
Okay. Hi, Robert. It's a friendly rivalry.
Aaron, I don't know if we should continue playing that soundbite.
No, I don't think so either. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. Okay. It could be.
Luther King Day, that's why.
It's Martin Luther King Day. Tomorrow's going to be.
That's what makes it awesome.
That's what makes it awesome, and that's exactly what I will be celebrating tomorrow is Martin Luther King, because that's important. So anyway, when you were walking on your way home from school, you had to walk through the snow and up the hills and down the hills and over mountains.
No, none of that. But we did have to, no. But I did have to be very vigilant for like what Aaron would have to go through, like people that was snatching kids at the time, and the kidnapping thing was a big thing back then, right?
Yeah.
But also, we had wild animals as well.
Okay.
Not bears, thank God. But
There's bears in Virginia, isn't there? You have
but I didn't
forests
have
and
to deal
mountains.
with them where I live.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't-
Okay, yeah.
At the time, I didn't have to deal with them where I live. But where I live now, I do, because we've had them in our backyard before. But back then, I didn't.
Much love back to you, Robert. Because I've seen pictures of your backyard, and your backyard, it's on the edge. There's a forest, right? I don't know if it's a forest, but there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, the forest is ours. Yeah, that's ours.
Yeah. Okay. That was my backyard too. Was the forest was my backyard.
Run,
Yeah.
Forrest, run!
Not that kind of forest.
And they've done so much, like, building around the area, so a lot of the wildlife has moved on.
Okay.
We don't get the deer and the bears and the fox and all the things that we used to get
Okay.
coming through the yard anymore. So, and that's a blessing, and but it's also not so great because it lets you know that where are the animals going.
Yeah. Yeah. What is he saying?
Oh, Robert has a lot to say. I think I heard this story before. At your age, I walked 20 miles to school in snow and had to fight off my bearing.
Yeah, believe it or not, I used to hear that story from my parents, and my parents both grew up in Sydney, Australia. So I'd like to see photos of those mountains and the snow in Sydney, Australia. It took me until I was in my It took me until I was in my... Aaron, stop. Are you done? Are you done?
Oh.
I am, yeah. Are you... Oh my God. Stop. Stop.
Aaron, we can't have an hour of sound bites.
Wizards on you guys.
Okay. See, now I forgot what I was saying, and that's not very professional now, is it?
I think I got it.
I gotta start
Just in
taking
case,
notes when I'm
Tell me
when
the whole
I'm
thing
talking.
again. I wasn't listening.
Okay.
We're not professional on this show anyway.
Apparently not. When we're both laughing about fart noises, you can tell we have boys.
We're not. Yeah. Absolutely. I think gross. And then they grow up to be gross men.
They do. Yes, they do. Actually, I'm going to tell you something, and Aaron's going to get really mad at me, but then we'll be even, okay? Wow. That man has never farted around me, ever.
Oh, good for you.
Well, okay, but he does when he's asleep.
I think everybody does when they're asleep.
Well, I don't know.
I
don't know.
You don't know. That's what I'm saying, unless it wakes you up.
Well, that would be bad. But no, he has never. And my twins will go into the bathroom if they have to fart. They'll go to the bathroom and do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, it is, but there's two more that we're not talking about, and those two, the girl one, she just doesn't care. And she came out of the womb that way, though, I think. And Rory is the same. They'll both blame the floorboards or, the cat or me.
Not the cat.
Sometimes they blame me. Yeah, they'll blame the cat. Just whatever cat's near. Yeah. So they make up for it. Yeah.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Okay, but that's enough about that subject. Moving on. Back to your walking to and from school through the snow and the mountains of Virginia.
I did not say that.
No, I'm just in my head. When I picture Virginia, I picture either the beach or the mountains. So I'm having a hard time, like, with the city in Virginia. To me, I don't see it. Do they have cities in Virginia?
And you know what? We very seldomly see the mountains here. Like, you have to actually live near the mountains to see them. We don't have a lot of mountains here.
That's because it's the
West
East.
Virginia.
That's because it's in the East, and everybody knows the only place that has mountains is in the West.
Well, West Virginia and like going into Tennessee and Kentucky and all of that, they have the Shenandoah Mountains and some other stuff, but yeah.
Steve doesn't fart either, not in front of me anyway. He does do it in his sleep. See, maybe the nice ones that don't do it near you, they do it. Aaron, stop. Oh my God. You should see what happens if someone in my house says the word balls.
What happens?
The entire the entire family just breaks out in laughter when someone says balls. Yes.
Oh, that
I
sounds
just
like
have to-
fun. We don't have those kind of conversations here.
Are you kidding? When it gets really tense, that's all you have to do in my house. If everybody's fighting, all you have to do is say balls really loud, and no matter what, that's what happens. Every time. I don't know what it
I
is.
would have to try that.
You gotta try it. You just have to stand in the middle of the room and just say balls and see what happens.
You have more fun with that.
Oh my god.
This is going off the rails. Oh dear.
Oh, so I have a birthday coming up.
Yes.
I am
And?
getting old.
You're getting old now? This is it?
getting
This is
old.
the year that you're gonna get old?
This is the year.
Okay.
You know how they say you're going over the hill?
Oh, you're at the
I
top
feel
now?
Like I feel like the top is like right here, and I'm right here. You know, on The Price is Right, the little man that the game with the little guy goes. Every time I think about getting older, I see that little man just climbing up that hill.
Wow.
A la verga?
You just said that?
I don't know what that means.
Well,
It's not good. Stop it, Robert.
it's not good. It's a famous phrase. It is.
Well,
So
if
I'm
it
just-
helps and makes you feel any better, then my
Thank you,
birthday this
Robert.
year will be the one where I will qualify for a discount at the grocery store.
Which one is that?
55. I will be.
Really? You get discounts at 55?
You do. And you know what? I'm not mad about it.
Could I tell you, my husband, when he got an AARP invitation, he was so excited. He comes running in the room, babe, I
Lynn-
got it.
Oh, Lynn, please
balls
report
work
on
for
how.
you.
Yes, we'd all like to know. So that's your assignment for this week, Lynn. That's your assignment for the week. Report back. We'd all like to know. Rena has 2 boys, so yeah, she gets it.
I'm gonna drop it and see what happens.
Yeah. Make sure your husband's in the room when you do it, just to get the full effect of everybody.
You know, you gotta catch him at the right time. Sometimes he's really cool about that kind of stuff, and then other times he has his, his mantle of propriety on.
Oh yes, his pastor hat.
Yes,
Just
you know.
deep balls, and my poor dog tucked his tail. Yeah, poor baby. Aw.
Aw.
Aw. Yeah, so there we go.
Lost the whole show.
I know, now we're done.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Huh? Think, McFly, think.
Yes, I did discover at 55 you do get, I think is it a 10 or a 20% discount? Can somebody tell me who's watching?
Is it everywhere, or is it just certain places?
Well, that part I don't. I think it's certain places, but I will have to check. And I do know here in Las Vegas at some of the casinos, you get a discount at 55.
No, it is not true.
It is true. And some restaurants you get a discount at 55, but I don't know. You have to ask. So
Is that because they assume that people at 55 are on a fixed income?
woohoo, my 70s twin. Yep, I agree. 1970 was the best year. It was.
I can't agree or disagree. It wasn't my year.
You're not that far behind me. What, 3 years? 2 years.
Yeah, not far. Three.
Yeah,
3
3
years.
years. Yeah, you're not that far. Not that far
Not
behind.
No. We had the best music back then. I can say that. I
Okay,
think
so
we grew up with the best music.
okay, so let me ask you on that note, when you're cooking, which music do you listen to, and do you separate your music according to what you're doing during the day?
Yes, I separate my music based on the task
Okay.
that I'm doing.
Okay.
I separate my music based on my mood when
Okay.
I'm doing those tasks.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that's a Gen X thing? Is it
I
because
don't
we
know.
we didn't have
I mean,
TV?
we grew up Well, I can say in my family, we grew up having music when it was time to do chores and
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And, you would just, mom would put on something, or if you were able, you would put something on.
Yep.
And that was your music to motivate you to get your stuff done. Because you couldn't watch television, that was out, because you
Yep.
had to do your chores.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know if it was something that, I think it's something we picked up, not something that we were taught or anything. I think it's just something we all kind of picked up. Because even when my dad used to wash the car, there was a certain type of music playing when
Okay.
he was washing the car, vacuuming out and doing all the things. He had his music going. So yeah,
Okay. So, what do you listen to when you're cooking?
depends on what I'm cooking. If I'm cooking like
Okay.
island food, of
Okay.
course I'm gonna have reggae. or
Okay.
island
Well, that
music
makes
on.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm just trying to get through, and I don't always have music playing when I'm cooking, because it depends. If I'm moving fast, I don't have time for all that.
Okay.
But if I'm just chilling and I'm cooking a really good meal and something that I'm interested in doing, I do a lot of jazz. I love to hear
Okay.
jazz when I'm cooking and drinking something. Yeah, I'll do jazz for the most part. When I'm cleaning, it's 90s R&B. Um, when I'm outside in the garden, it's
Robert.
country music.
He said yes. Gym, metal, rock works. It's country.
Like it's country.
Sex. It's the theme. It's the theme to Pokemon. Well, I apologize to your
my
wife.
God! Now I need to look up the theme to Pokemon, because I have no idea what that sounds like.
I always thought it was more Barry White than Pokemon, but okay. Whatever. I feel bad for your wife, Robert. I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
I do the same thing. There's disco. But when I'm cooking, it depends on the kind. It's exactly the same. That's why I'm wondering if it's a generational thing, because I will listen to different music according to what I'm cooking
Yeah.
and according to my mood. And then if I'm cleaning, there's a different type of music. And if I'm baking, there's a different kind of music. And if I'm just listening to music, there's a different type of music. Okay. but yeah, that's interesting. I've never met anyone who also did that, so that's very interesting. Is anyone else who's listening to this, do you do the same thing? Other than Robert, we don't want to hear from you again, Robert.
Cheers, Robert.
And your Pokemon.
I'm definitely gonna look up that Pokemon theme song, because what in the world?
Yep. My go-to with making a big meal, like if I'm doing Thanksgiving or I'm doing a big huge soup or spaghetti, or I'm doing a Christmas dinner or something, is always Barbra Streisand, the Bee Gees. And
Oh, I love the Bee Gees.
and I put it on that station. I listen to Pandora, which my kids keep telling me, you have to
I love Pandora.
you have to switch over. No, I like my Pandora. So I will
Pandora's
put it
perfect.
on, say, if I put in Barbra Streisand, then it'll take me to that radio station that will do that genre. So that's a nice mix with everything. Why Pokemon?
See, I will listen to that if I'm making Italian food. I like I like that
Okay.
kind of vibe. If I'm
Okay.
making like pastas and
No,
lot
see,
of-
that's where my Barry White. That's what I listen to for that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
What song?
That's from Ally McBeal, though. I think that's where I get that from, because I was a big Ally McBeal fan, and they had the dance and everything, and that was so that gets me into the mood, and it's fun for me. It makes me happy. So then I
Wait, which Barry White song? Which one?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. What's the name of that one that I'm talking about? That's, now you put me on the spot. I don't know. Let me look. Because there's so many. I just put on his album. Right? I have a station, a Barry White station on my Pandora. That's part of my playlist.
Are you serious?
I'm
I have
dead
to
serious.
get one then. I don't have a Barry White song. See, every time I think of Barry White, I think
You
of
know what I'm
Practice
talking
What
about.
You Preach.
That insecure, that
Nope.
unsure.
Not this
that-
one.
No.
Nope, that's not it. No, that's definitely not it.
I
No.
keep hearing practice what you preach, and so I'm like, how do you cook to practice what you
No. Let me see. This one.
My first,
This
my last,
one.
my everything.
This one.
Okay.
Never gonna give you up. There you go.
Okay.
Can't get enough of your love.
More of his.
You're
upbeat
the
songs.
first, the last, my everything. That's my
Everything.
that's my favorite. That one.
Too
Okay,
much
I
of
can see
anything.
that now.
Not good
Now
for
I
you,
can
baby.
see that. Now I have to add it to my Pandora.
See this
I
one.
don't know about that.
This is my Ally McBeal one. This one.
Times that we've loved, and
Okay.
we've shared love and made love.
Cause then you just get into it and then you just start the cooking and
That's more workout music for me.
but well see yeah and when I'm cooking there's a whole lot of dancing
Yeah.
in when I'm cooking. It's
That's my workout.
yeah.
That would be workout for me. Like if
Yeah.
I'm walking or on a treadmill or something, I could put that on.
Okay.
That would work for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Every
Yeah.
time I think of Barry White, I only think about his slow songs, his baby
Oh, okay.
making music. I don't ever
Yeah.
consider the fact that he has like upbeat songs. You know,
They-
it's the same
more
with
of the-
Luther Vandross.
Yeah. More
It's like,
of the upbeat R&B, not the get in the mood kind of. Yeah, no, I'm not in the mood when I'm cooking.
I'm gonna
No.
change. I'm gonna listen to him more often now. Good
Just-
gracious. Let me
just-
add that to my
Just
to-do
put them in
list.
your playlist on
Add
your
Barry.
Pandora. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the I do like the big band when I'm baking. That's where Sinatra comes in, and there'll be some John Legend, and then there's a little bit of who else is in there? Sammy Davis Jr.'s in there, a little bit of Dean Martin, a little of the Rat Pack is in there. When
So I listen
I'm
to
cooking.
that when I'm working. If I am on the
Okay.
computer or if I have a lot of work to get done, I listen to that because it's more relaxing to me. Like I can actually focus with that type of music.
Oh, okay. See, I put
Yeah,
it in
so
my earbuds and I put it up really loud, and then I just zone on what I'm doing. So that's more for
Yeah.
baking if I have to focus on doing something specific or chopping vegetables. So I'll do once a week. I'll go to the grocery store and I'll buy, and this is where the age thing comes in. I don't know if this is a Gen X thing, but I will get a whole pile of vegetables and I will stand in the kitchen with my music way too loud. Is that the phone? And Aaron just went to the bathroom, so I can't answer the phone. Whoever is calling, can you call back in a couple minutes? I can't answer you. My producer is in the bathroom. Well, anyway, I will get a whole bunch of vegetables and I will stand with my headphones on really loud, like too loud, to the point where my phone is saying your music is too loud. It needs to be turned down. And I don't care. I just ignore it. And I will chop vegetables and put them in. I'll separate them into bags, and that all goes in the freezer. Do you do that?
Okay, so I do. So I listen to 80s music.
Yep.
I'm big.
Oh, that has to be in
Paul
there.
Paul McCartney, Michael
Wings?
McDonald.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Really?
Oh, I used to be in love with what was the guy from? Oh my gosh, what's his name?
So
George
what?
Michael.
Oh, I love George Michael. I know. But what
So
if
I would have that type of music in my ear when I am doing my meat. So you do your produce that way.
yeah.
I go back to the butcher shop and I
Okay.
buy big containers of meat, like 40 pounds of this,
Okay.
40 pounds of that. And then
Okay.
I get home and I'm cleaning it. I'm like, gloves, the whole thing,
Okay.
cleaning, and then I'm pre-seasoning, and then I'm putting it in the bags and making it airtight, right?
Okay.
Vacuum sealing.
Okay. That's a
That's
Gen
when I'm
X
listening
thing.
to that music.
That is
Yeah, that's
definitely
when
a
I'm
Gen
listening
X
to that
thing.
music.
Because I don't
When I
know.
do that, I gotta have that kind of music on to keep me going.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, my '80s music, it depends on that one. It depends on what mood I'm in, because my '80s music would be a little different, I think, because mine is more The Cure and maybe
Rock and roll.
sort of, and mixed with a little bit of it's a little heavier, like Pink Floyd, The Cure.
Okay. Okay.
Depeche Mode and Led Zeppelin,
Yeah,
Def Leppard.
That's my husband's. That's his genre. He loved that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that
and
was mine.
Yeah, he was a big Radiohead fan and all at that. That's too much for me.
Okay,
I can't go there.
okay.
For me, rock and roll was more like White Snake and Guns N' Roses.
Okay,
That was my level of, Aerosmith. That was my level of rock
Okay.
and roll. I could get with any of them.
okay.
But yeah, but it seems like with country music, I can't go too country. Like I'm not a Patsy
No, I can't.
Cline
Okay,
type of country. I'm
Okay.
not Patsy. I'm more Reba. Okay,
Love
I can
Reba.
do Reba, but I can't do Patsy.
Okay,
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
kind of different.
Well, yeah,
think-
totally different styles with country.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
But I love country music because my dad used to play country music all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but he played that old hillbilly type of country.
The jugs, the blown in the jugs, and the
Yeah, you
the
know, like the
washboard.
Yeah, the original Willie Nelson. and-
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
a fan
I
of
was
Willie
like,
Nelson.
That's too close to. I just felt like that was too close to Klan music. I just couldn't get it.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what Klan
Klanish.
means. What is Klan
okay, so-
music?
So hold on. Growing up here in the country,
Okay.
there are certain areas of the country you didn't go into because
Okay.
that was Klan County.
Oh.
So
Okay.
you couldn't drive. You made a right turn, you were going in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh.
You always turn left, you never go to the right. So if you ended up
Okay.
in the wrong side of town, the atmosphere changed. The music was different, the people were it was just Klan country. So that's the kind of music that we equated to that, like,
Okay.
because that's all they played. They didn't play nothing else but that type of
Well,
banjo,
the hillbilly.
hillbilly.
I expect nothing less from people like that.
So when
I make no
hear-
apologies. I whatever. Their taste in
but
music
when I
is
hear
not good.
Certain artists,
Yeah.
when I hear certain artists, that's where it takes me.
Really?
Not saying that those artists are that way.
Aaron's
I don't
not
wanna
back
go-
yet. What the hell is he doing? I swear to God. I don't understand. Yep, the one time we get a caller.
We're on our own. You must have pissed him off, and he's
must-
like, "I'm gonna show you guys."
Well, that's a
what my
regular.
feeling is.
That's a regular thing, though. I mean, he's married to me. He knows. I am not an easy person to be married to. I am not high maintenance, but I am a pain in the ass.
I wonder if I'm a pain in the ass.
Are you high maintenance? You don't seem
No.
high maintenance. I don't think you're high
No.
maintenance.
Not at all. Not at all. I think. Well, I can tell you this: my husband is more high maintenance than I am.
Really? Oh.
Oh my, yes,
Okay.
yes. He has two levels. It's either completely casual, like real work clothing all the time, or over the top, dressed to the nines. There's no
Oh,
middle for him.
okay.
But he's very, I don't know. He takes more time to do stuff, and he's very particular about things, and I'm not. I am more of let's hurry up and get it done. Let's chop chop, whatever it takes to get it done. Let's do that. I don't care about all the little stuff.
No, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. Like, the older I get, though, the more I just don't care. I don't. I see people running around and running around and running around, and they're all like, "We got to do this and this and this," and they're losing their mind. They're like, it has to be this way. Why does it have to be? You know what? I've lived
That
long
way.
enough, and I have been through enough so far that I know it doesn't have to be that way. There is more than one way to skin a cat, and you can relax, and it will still get done. You don't.
It will still get done.
You
Absolutely.
don't have to drive
And
yourself
if
crazy,
you relax, you might learn something.
and you might actually enjoy the process.
Yeah. You might realize that you were doing it the long way all the time because you only did it
Exactly.
one way.
Exactly.
You might learn something.
Exactly. You don't have to run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Just relax. It's okay. We have had people calling here twice, and you were AWOL.
Sorry.
Did you?
I'll put the phone line back up.
Oh, you put it back up now. Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry.
You know what? It's because he's not getting paid.
It was probably Robert calling in.
It was probably Robert. Who was calling? Hubs listen to Metallica when he's cooking. How the hell do you
Ooh,
cook
how?
listening to Metallica? I don't want to
that
know
a
what you
grill?
do with your meat, Robert. Come on now. Is it Robert?
Wait. Robert, what do you do to your
Hello, you are on the air with Midlife Mischief.
That's Robert.
What is that? Who is this? I don't know what this is.
You don't know what it is?
It's
I'm playing the theme of
Robert's.
Pokemon.
Oh,
I told you it was Robert.
oh my God. Ah,
How y'all doing?
I'm good. How are you? You have to be nice now, Robert, because you know damn well that I'm not going to have a political conversation with you on the air.
Oh, there's nothing political about it.
Okay. I know you know how to be good. I know you do, because we've had these conversations. Lynn, you would actually enjoy having a political conversation with Robert, because he's one of those very few people that actually will listen to you and have a grown-up conversation. At least he used to. I don't know.
Stop whining.
It's been a while, but I know that he has that ability. However, with Aaron, because Aaron gets so angry
I
and
don't play that
riled
game.
up, that Robert tends to just laugh and push his buttons.
I want to
so-
be the people's governor.
Okay,
I
so
like to see people's limitations.
huh?
I like to see their limitations, their limits.
Yes, I know.
But just because I like to see Aaron smile at the end.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Robert, this is Lynn. Lynn, this is Robert.
Buenas
Hi,
noches, ¿cómo
Robert.
está? ¿Todo bien?
No,
What accent is that?
that's his Mexican accent. Robert is
He just
a very good friend of ours that we met when we lived in Laredo. So he lives on the border of Mexico and Texas. He's a police officer. So
Yes. A
Apparent-
very funny one, too.
apparently that means I have to behave myself.
Sue me, dickhead.
hold
Okay.
hold on.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
He's Hispanic,
Yes. Vidia.
police officer
Yes.
that lives in Laredo.
Texas. Yes. On the
Yeah.
border of
And
Mexico.
and he loves Trump.
Yes, he does, unfortunately. We tried to talk him out of it, but he wouldn't listen.
He of a black person's nightmare.
Yes.
Is basically what he is.
Yes.
Sorry, Robert.
You're-
I was beginning to like you, dude.
Your volume sounds very, very far away. I can barely hear you out there. So.
Hang on, Aaron's gonna fix it.
We got 1 minute left in the show. Don't we have some?
It still sounds far away.
We got 1 minute left in the show.
We got 1 minute left.
Don't we have some advertising to run or something? Sorry, Robert, we ran out of time.
That's all right. Monday's going to be a great day tomorrow.
Monday, though.
Call us on Monday? Okay. Robert, you enjoy your day tomorrow. Have fun.
Oh, yeah. We're getting snow tomorrow.
You're getting snow tomorrow? You are not getting snow tomorrow.
We are getting snow.
Oh, bullshit.
Yes, we're getting snow.
In South Texas?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I need to see pictures from everyone on my Facebook that is in Laredo that is still friends with me. I need to see your pictures posted tomorrow, please, when it snows.
Don't be ridiculous.
Now, I'll post it tonight, like at 3 in the morning.
Okay.
Call you all later.
Okay. That's cool.
All right. Leanne, it's been a pleasure.
All right, and we will talk to you like in a normal conversation later, okay?
Auf Wiedersehen, Kameraden. Alles Gute, ja? Guten Nacht.
You have got to listen to the words to the Pokemon theme song.
I do?
And then apply it to what he said about the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's probably why he said it, because he's that person. Roberts?
Hilarious.
I feel bad for his wife.
Hilarious. I could actually like him, but I can't like him at the same time.
I know, it's hard. It's hard.
That is so sad.
I know. It is.
Oh well.
It's Texas, though. God bless Texas. It is what it is. See, that's the thing. You just have to accept it for what it is. It's Texas. God bless. That's all there is. I know. Living in Texas, I did learn, and this is a very interesting thing. We did learn that there is, in fact, a difference between the North and the South and the people who live there. And it's fascinating to learn and be there to see it for yourself and be smack in the middle of it was fascinating from an outsider, because I honestly didn't think that it still existed, the differences between the two, but there is definitely still a difference between the North and the South. Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's fascinating to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a good thing.
I can't say it's fascinating, but I can say that it's a little, with this being 2025, it's a little sad.
Yes.
To see, because at some point you have to look at it and say, what have we learned?
Yeah.
What have we learned? Like, people are still teaching. So there are little babies right now that will grow up with the mentality of hate and discord. Because at this point in 2025, they're teaching 4 or 5-year-olds to be that way. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So it's a never-ending cycle that will never stop. It's going to continue to repeat itself until someone just says, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Stop perpetuating the same thing over and over again. I got to tell you, though, I have quite a few colleagues, girlfriends, and even my son. They are all seeking dual citizenship in other countries.
What other countries? Which other countries?
Well, a couple of them are doing Ghana.
Okay.
A couple of them have done Mexico.
That won't get you much, but okay.
Canada.
Canada is the #1 passport in the world right now. Just so you know, that is a fun fact, a piece of information for you people out there. If you have a Canadian passport, it is the #1 passport of 2025. Just saying.
So 3 of the 3 people I know are getting their Canadian.
It's not as easy as people think it is, but yeah.
It's not.
Okay.
They've told me it's not. And my son wants to get his in Japan.
Okay.
He wants to get dual citizenship, but that has nothing to do with what's going on here. It has everything to do with his fascination with Japan. He has ever since he was little, he's had this fascination with them.
Really?
So I don't know. It has something to do more so with their technology, their art. They have like the art that they produce there. He's really interested in their graphic art and the work that they do. So, and he feels like they learn differently as far as how to create artistic expression for graphic design and stuff like that. So he's really interested in that.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That actually makes sense because our 3 older kids are all into animation and graphic design. The twins more on an engineering level, but Tegan is finally going to be finishing up this year at UNLV, but she's doing animation and graphic design and absolutely loves everything Japanese.
Yep. That's what he's doing.
The three of them, but not Rory for some reason. Although he does like it as well, but not quite as much as the older 3.
Right.
But it's not something. It's weird because it's not something that I ever like. I never showed it to them as little kids. I don't think I even showed. I don't remember even showing them Pokemon. I know
it's just a generational thing. It's just something that they were introduced to.
I think so.
That they grabbed a hold of, and so he's been loving it.
Yeah.
For all this time, and I told him, I was like, at first he was going to go visit, but now he's like he really wants to move there.
Okay.
And just really experience the culture.
Okay.
There, and so I'm like, hey. Planes fly. I can come see you.
Yeah.
No big deal. Go ahead.
It's a long flight, but yeah.
He said, okay, so wait, you're okay with me moving to Japan, but not New York? I'm like, yeah.
Hey,
absolutely.
There's a difference. There is a big difference.
It's a huge difference. And there's something about just the idea of my child living in New York that I can't. No.
Except I hate to be the one to break this to you, Lynn. At the end of the day, it's not your decision.
I know. I just
that's
like
the
to
hardest
have
part.
heavy...
That's the hardest part of parenting, right there.
It
is distinguishing what you want and what they can do. They're totally different things. And if I could pick the women that my boys marry, I would, but I can't. So. Here we are.
Well, listen, hold on now. I'm not going to pick them, but I do.
You get to vet them?
No. I vet them. I vet them.
Okay.
Definitely, I vet them. And I, whether my opinion matters to them or not, I let them know what my opinion is. And so I don't
let them
expect
know?
anything different from me. Yeah.
What if you don't like them? You tell them?
I let them know I don't like them. I don't like her. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
What's the point in vetting them if you're not going to tell them that, no, she's not the one?
Because it's not
and
your
then when they want to know why, I have to be able to tell them, exactly why. It's not a surface thing. It's like, she's disrespectful. She doesn't have any self-respect for,
She's a whore.
She's not focused. Honey, that part, or she has whore-like tendencies, okay? Prove me wrong, and I'll accept it. She's not. I mean, there's certain things, and I'm like, look, I tell my kids all the time, dating is a thing. Like, you don't just run out here and claim somebody and say, oh, that's my girlfriend or that's my boyfriend. No, dating is a thing. You're supposed to date to see what you like, what you don't like, what you're willing to tolerate, what you won't tolerate. You won't know until you get out there and see, right?
I agree with that, yes.
Yeah, I'm quick on that one. As soon as I meet them, I'll meet them. I have a talk with them. We go to lunch. We do the whole thing. And I'm like, nope. Or the ones that I do like, I'm like, yeah, I like her. She's cool. She's a good one.
And that's the one that he's not going to stay with, is the one that you like.
One thing about it, my eldest son really listens. He takes it in consideration. He's one of those people that he's not going to just jump and do what you say do, because he has to have the final say on whatever he does. But he will take everything under advisement. So he pays attention. He doesn't just ignore, what you're saying.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's good. Now, the middle one, I don't know. I don't know what to think of him right now. We're tiptoeing into that pool right now. He's just so excited. He's overly excited about the idea of a woman. I'm just like, I'm gonna need you to calm down, okay? It's just boobs. They all have them. Don't. Just calm down. It's okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that one.
We'll see. We'll see. Well, they do tend to gravitate towards what reminds them of their mother, I suppose. I don't know. It's weird because I don't think I'm anything like Aaron's mother. Am I? No, I'm not. So maybe he went for the anti mom. That was me. I don't know. But I do agree with you when it comes to dating, that is something that I don't know if it's our generation. Again, it could be, or just the way we look at it because of experience, but that's what I've taught my kids too. You really do have to sort of play the field, quote unquote, because you need to figure out what you don't like in order to figure out what you do like, right?
Absolutely.
So if you only date one person, and this is something I would love to hear from anybody who's listening, but how do people only date this one person in high school and then marry them and then stay with them for the rest of their life? I've never understood that. Are you happy? Are those people happy?
Right.
Or do you ever sit and wonder what else is out there? Like what I don't understand. I don't understand. How do you know? Because when I met Aaron, we met and we were friends. When we started dating, from our first date to the day we got married was 3 months. That's it. And that was 26 years ago, and we're still happy because I had dated other people. So I knew what I wouldn't put up with, what I didn't want. Okay. And I was old enough and had enough experience and that I knew I was able to walk away. If I saw one of those red flags, I could walk away. But if you don't do that, how the hell do you know, and how are you happy? I want to know. I want someone to tell me. How?
You don't know. You don't know. You absolutely don't. And I was one of those ones that married straight out of high school.
Oh.
I was 18.
And 18. You are not married to him anymore.
No, we stayed married 15 years.
Okay.
And during that time frame, what people don't consider though when they're that young is that you're still trying to figure out who you are. You're still trying to grow into the adult that you're going to be. Just because you're 18 doesn't make you grown. It just makes you a legalized adult. Okay? Right. And there's a huge difference in that. And I think as grown-ups, we need to stop telling kids that they're grown at 18 because they're not.
No.
And we need to really express to them the difference between being an adult and being grown, right? An adult just means that there are certain legal things that you can be held accountable for.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain decisions that you can make on your own without your parental consent.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you can do all the things
Yeah.
that a grown up can do, right? So I think when I got married the first time, it was more so because at a certain point for a girl, you're just trying to get away from your parents. You're trying to get out the house. You're trying to go. You know.
See,
it's
I
like,
just
"Oh,
just bought a plane ticket and left. I didn't consider marrying
So-
somebody.
Let me tell you though. Let me tell you what was crazy about that. I did that. I left at 17, moved
Mm-hmm.
to Texas. He followed.
Oh.
Then I kind of felt stuck, I guess, you know. So anyway, I ended up getting married at 18. Stayed married for 15 years. But during that time frame, you learn who you are,
Mm-hmm.
what your goals are, what you want, what you don't want. And I just happened to learn it while I was with someone.
Okay.
Then once you get to a point when you realize that you guys are not on the same path, your journey is in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you go your separate ways, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to make sure that my kids don't make the same decision that I made. Learn your path and your journey before you drag somebody else along with you, not knowing which direction you're going in.
It's a hard lesson to learn though. And is it something that
Oh, yeah.
you can learn for them? Isn't it something they have to learn for themselves?
Yeah.
That's the hardest part of being a
Everything is
parent.
Well, everything is something we have to learn for ourselves.
Yeah.
No one's, my experience is never going to be theirs.
No.
Their experience is never going to be someone else's.
Yeah.
We all have different, our experiences may align, but they'll never be the same.
Yeah.
So, you can't necessarily, only thing you can do is advise people and say, hey, this is what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is what I know happened to my friend or someone else I know. So I would advise you to look out for these things if you decide to make the same, choice. And that's all I can tell my kids. I just tell them, okay, these are the pros, these are the cons. This is what the experiences were for us. Now you decide if you want to still go down that path. And if you do, these are the things you should look out for while you're on the journey.
But I think your girlfriend's a hoe.
Absolutely. And if you choose her, this is what you have to look forward to.
And he'll
You might
smile
come
from
home
ear
and
to
find
ear.
your best friend in your house.
With your wife, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, sometimes. It's true.
it is true.
It
It's
is true.
But if you choose that, then you have to also choose the consequence that goes along with it,
So you
But isn't that life?
Well, yeah. As long as you don't do the whole I told you so when they do come back and say, Mom, you were right.
They will never come back and say I was right. They'll never do that.
No.
No, but I won't say I told you so. I will. We went through something similar like that when he got in his car accident.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you need to get your stuff taken care of first or whatever.
Right.
I didn't say I told you so. My thing is, well, what did you learn from the decision you made? What did you learn from it? Because I firmly believe that everything we go through, there's a lesson in it.
Amen.
Whether we want to acknowledge it or not,
There
it is
is.
there.
Mhm.
So when all the smoke clears and you've calmed down
Mhm.
and you're thinking again, figure out what the lesson was in it.
Mhm.
Don't go through things for no reason at all. Everything has a purpose.
Well, that's how you keep repeating the same mistake is by not learning from the lesson.
Absolutely.
So you have two choices. You can either, and this is it. That's exactly what I've taught my kids as well. And again, it could be something that we've learned through experience, which is not always a good thing. But I mean, as long as we've learned, then it's a lesson that we know. You have two choices. You can either repeat the same mistake because you think you were right and you didn't learn anything, and you are going to play the victim. You are going to blame other people for what happened. And as long as you keep doing that, you're going to repeat the same situation over and over again. I'm not psychic, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen again. Or you can take a step back and you can take a look at everything that's just happened to you and say that exact sentence. What did I learn? What did I learn? It sucked. That was a horrible experience. I don't want to do it again. How do I stop it from happening again? What did I learn? And it's exactly the same with dating. So you get to a certain point where you've dated X amount of people, and maybe you keep repeating the same kind of thing. You keep dating the same kind of girl. You keep dating the same kind of guy because you are not paying attention. You are just saying, well, I got dumped. It's her fault. It was her. She's a bitch. She's a terrible person. She. Well, what did you do? So you were in that relationship too. So you're telling me that you hold no responsibility for that terrible relationship whatsoever. Bullshit. That's complete bullshit. You don't say I told you so. You say, I know. I've been in your shoes, and when you're ready to listen to what I did after. Yeah, exactly. You have to. That's the hardest thing about parenting is knowing that they're going to repeat that, but not being able to stop them from doing it, and just making sure that they know that you're there when and if they do fail, and you're there to listen and help guide them, not tell them, but guide them in the right direction. And that goes for dating, that goes for business, that goes for school, that goes for just about everything in life. If you can learn that lesson, and you'd be surprised how many people our age have not learned that lesson.
Girl.
And you just sit there going, well, okay, but didn't this same thing happen like just recently?
Yeah.
Didn't you already do this? I'm sorry. I recognize that tree. Like, I've been here before with you. So, okay. You didn't learn. Yeah. And the expression that my parents used to tell me was, people don't know. History doesn't repeat itself. People do.
People do. Yes, absolutely.
So we need to stop saying history's repeating itself. No, it's not. No, people didn't learn, and that is so true for what is happening right now all over the world. All over the world. It's not just here. People are repeating the mistakes that we did not learn from before, and until we as people learn those lessons, we are all doomed to keep repeating them. Yeah. Wow, that was really deep, and my head hurts now. Oh. Jesus. Whew, that was a lot.
You gotta stop having these deep conversations.
That was a lot in there. So you're welcome, people, but don't expect that to happen again.
That is hilarious.
But that's my wisdom for today. That's and unfortunately, I'm one of those people that has learned things the hard way, but I did learn a very long time ago that lesson, so I've been able to learn ever since, and I actually do have a lot of wisdom up here. I got a lot of wisdom, and it's not because I want to. Okay, what is
you know what? No, I think on one of our next episodes,
this is very true. I'm gonna have to listen to that now.
I would like to delve into the whole idea of interracial relationships with your kids.
Okay.
And how you would address or feel about that, because I have very strong feelings about it.
See, I know I can already answer that one because I've done a lot of work with ancestry, and I have a 3 times great grandmother who was an Aborigine, and it is one of the saddest stories that I think I have ever heard. And my mother's cousin is a famous person in Australia. He was the host of 60 Minutes. So do you know that show, Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they did a version of that in Australia, and he was picked as one of those people. So I was very fortunate in that I found the episode, and I learned about my 3 times great grandmother, Bertha, and the experiences that she went through. By the time that episode was over, I was in tears and I called my mom, and I sent the episode to my mom, and she watched it, and she was in tears as well. And I said, I don't know why I'm crying. I never met her. I didn't know her. I have heard stories about what an amazing human being she was, but other than that, and I've seen pictures of her, but other than that, it wasn't really something that was talked about because she was Aboriginal. It wasn't talked about at all. But her entire family, which is my family, was wiped out one night when she was at work with my great-great-great-grandfather. The soldiers showed up to her village where she lived with her family, and they were all annihilated for no reason at all, just because they were black, and the white people wanted the land, and so they took it. They were never married because there was not a priest anywhere that would marry a black woman to a white man, and he was a convict from Ireland. So you had a convict and an Aborigine woman who lived together. They told everybody, we thought they were married, but we did find out through this episode that they were not married because there wasn't a priest around that would marry them. And they had 4 children together. And together they worked on a ranch. That's where they met. She was the housekeeper and he was the groundskeeper. By the time he passed away, they owned the land, and they owned 600 acres of ranch land, cattle land in New South Wales, Australia. He passed away before she did, and the land was confiscated and taken away because she was black and because they weren't married. Their children were labeled, I don't remember what the word is, and I don't, because I don't care, but it was a derogatory term that I don't know. And they were left with nothing, absolutely nothing, after about 40 years of living together and raising their children and their grandchildren. Because he passed away before her, they were left with nothing. And now the government of Australia is giving reparations to different Aboriginal families because of things like that. But it doesn't matter anymore. That was 3 generations ago. And like my mom said, it doesn't really matter. But it happened, and that matters. That's the part that matters, is that it happened, and now it needs to be recognized, and people need to stop. They just need to stop and learn from the past, and we're not learning. We are not learning, and it hurts my heart, because it's not just this country, it's other countries. And I always thought that the United States was this magical place where everything that you could ever think of would happen, which is interesting because I'm Canadian, so therefore, there's no difference between the two. But if you watch TV, they always promote the United States as this magical country where dreams come true.
Oh, that's the marketing. That's the marketing.
This is what I am now discovering, and we won't get into that, but it's amazing to find that, there are different, the things that happened before are still happening now. They've just been put underneath things, and it's been done in the shadows, it's been done quietly. And now all of a sudden it's not being done quietly. And
because of the internet.
And that's exactly, and that's what I have a problem with. So I don't know. That would be my opinion on interracial. To me, it doesn't matter, but that's me, and I have a level of privilege that you obviously don't have, and I will never understand, and I will never know what it's like to be you. And I think there's a lot of white people, especially white women, that need to understand that, and you need to learn from that as well. I don't know what it's like to be you. I don't. And I know I love you. I know I've known you for years, and I think you're an absolutely fantastic human being, and I don't know that I need to know anything else, but with the way when I hear some of the things that you talk about, when your son is away from you, I feel I can't sleep sometimes when I hear the news, because your boys are what I think about.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Thank you.
No, but then I think of you, and as their mom. And I have 3 boys, you have 3 boys, but when my boys go out, I don't have to worry the same way you do.
No,
And it shouldn't be that way though, Lynn, should it?
I know. No. Well, it shouldn't be, but I think as a parent, we all worry about our kids as far as, they end up somewhere they shouldn't be, and, they get in a car accident, or, just general life stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then when you add on another layer of, okay, now we have to worry about all of the normal stuff that every other parent worries about.
Yeah.
But now we have to add authority figures on top of that, right? And just being labeled because of what you look like and what they perceive you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And now your life is in jeopardy because of the perception.
Exactly.
Without anything else. It's just the perception. And I always try to give people grace. I'm like, I personally have family members that work in these certain fields.
Mm-hmm.
Police officers, attorneys, teachers, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have family members that are Caucasian. I have nieces that I love that are mixed. I have cousins that are mixed.
Mm-hmm.
My family is a melting pot,
Mm-hmm.
okay, of different races. I mean, we have Asian, we have Black, we have Indian, we have white. I can't sit here and say, oh, those people.
Yep.
You can't do that, because
No.
we're all one when
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is I'm always very conscious about, I'll never forget, a friend of mine when I was living in North Carolina, her son was dating a young lady who was Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
And they dated for like 2 years, I guess, in high school. Well, who would have thought that one of her family members would take issue with that? Because the family members acted as if they accepted that union, that relationship. And all of a sudden, one day, they decided they didn't want to accept it no more, and they turned on him just because he was Black. No other reason.
No, was that after they finished high school, so it was okay during high school, but if it continued after high school, then it was too serious?
I don't know. All we know is they openly said it was because he was Black. Because the parents was like, what did he do? What did he harm her?
Yeah.
Did they have an argument? Was there something brewing there? Something that nobody knew about. And the young men, they were her cousins and one of her brothers. They said, no, we just didn't want our sister dealing with and we got tired of watching it.
Oh.
They got tired of watching.
They got tired of it.
That
Okay.
relationship, and so they got rid of him. And at that point, it made me realize she couldn't stop that. She had really no control over stopping that. So when you're brought into a family, you don't know, you and the girl might be great, or you and the guy might be great. But when you have a lineage behind these people, you don't know what their family members really truly feel.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes
Yep.
it kind of, it's a little sketchy for people to, I'm not gonna say get involved, but
Right.
and I don't want to put too much family business out there, but a similar situation happened again within our family.
Okay.
And choices had to be made about, well, what are you going to do with the kid that's stuck in the middle, right? And so the family had to decide, we're going to keep the kid, because the other family didn't want the kid. The other family was, we're going to put the kid in adoption. Just because the kid is mixed, we're going to put the child in adoption because we don't want any mixed children in our family. But you know what I'm saying? So that's my only issue about mixing. It's like, you got to know, you have to have a lot of caution there. If you see, and even right now, if you watch the news and you're listening to all these different celebrity stories and stuff about black guys mixing with white women and all that kind of stuff, because for some reason it seems to be a thing in sports. Whatever, it's a thing,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
I have noticed that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because white women are a pain in
almost
the
like
ass.
it's
but
a trophy
yeah.
or something. We don't understand it. I ain't gonna lie to you. We don't understand it.
Yeah.
We have no idea
Right.
why that is the case, right? But it is. It's the case. And when that happens, the thing is, when the couple breaks up or if something goes wrong within that relationship, he has more to lose than just the relationship and money.
Right.
A lot of times he can lose his life, he can lose his freedom, he can lose his career. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when the shoe is on the other foot, that loss isn't so great. Y'all break up, you go your own way, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
You might have to pay alimony and child support, and it's a done deal. But for us, it's not. The loss is much greater, and we never know what it is until it happens.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my only issue about interracial relationships, and I only say interracial when it comes to black and white.
Yeah. See, in our family,
it's issue with others.
Yeah. See, in our family, it's I mean, I grew up with the United Nations because my parents are first generation, or my parents were immigrants. So all of their friends were immigrants. So I grew up with, people from the West Indies, from South Africa, from Ireland, from Scotland, from England, from all over the world. Excuse me. So to me, that's normal. That's, that's what I remember from the very first memory that I have. So I've never, and I've talked to my parents about this, and Aaron and I have talked about this. It's very difficult when you grow up with that. You're kind of sheltered. Like I didn't understand how bad the racial tension was, really, because I was in the middle of all of that, and it never really impacted me in a negative way. Growing up, my parents' best friends were from South Africa, and like I said, my great grandmother was Aboriginal. My first memory is a woman who used to look after me because when my mom was sick, and her name was Ria, and she was from the West Indies, and I adore her. She passed away when I was about 7. But I spent a lot of time with her and my mom, and the two of them were always together. They were best friends. She ended up having cancer, and my mom was a nurse, so she ended up looking after her. She and Ria had looked after me when my mom was sick. And then when Ria ended up with cancer, my mom was with her, and so that's what I grew up with. However, moving to Texas was a really big eye-opener for me, because I did see firsthand what it was like to be to be in a place where I was the only white person in the neighborhood, and it was very eye-opening. So for me, I was the only English-speaking white chick taking my kid to school. I could show you photos, and it's like,
had no idea.
Can you tell which kid is mine? Like, I'd show you a picture of Rory's class, and I mean, he's the only white boy in there. So I mean, instead of looking at it in a negative racial way, we looked at it sort of as a learning experience for our kids.
Yeah.
And our kids now have that appreciation for diversity. Like, that's the first thing they noticed when we moved to Las Vegas, was like, oh my God, Mom, there's people that are not Mexican. And I'm like, well, yeah. And, you know, when we were in Laredo, we ended up really close friends with the other minorities. So once again, I was back in the situation that I had been in when I was growing up, but I was the adult this time, and I was one of the minorities, which is very eye-opening and a little bit of a reversal, because it's not usually the white girl who's, you know, the minority.
Yeah.
So it gave us a very different perspective. So I have a huge.
How did it make you feel?
Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It was really hard. And there were some times when Aaron would come in and he'd meet me, and I would be close to tears because, you know, I was not treated very well sometimes. And it wasn't because I did anything. I didn't do anything wrong. And if I tried...
It's the perception of who they think you are.
Well, apparently I was going to take their men. Well, I don't want your men. I have my own husband. I don't want yours.
But that's a perception that Caucasian women have.
We're going to take your men.
Them.
Yeah.
That they will steal your man.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? But let me tell you, some of my closest friends are Caucasian. Like, really, some of my closest friends are not Black, and it's one of those things where I don't know how that happened. I have no idea how that happened.
Well, I could tell you how that happens. See, there's a mommy and there's a daddy, and both of them are white, and you end up with a white baby. Although in my case, I am surrounded by Black women, you know, but some of my closest friends are not Black, and so. And that's not a slight either way. I just find it very interesting that, you know, I like it when my girlfriends ask me certain things that they don't know about Black people. I don't take offense to it at all. I look at it as, thank you for asking, instead of making an assumption and believing the stereotypes or whatever it is, you know. And I don't feel like I have to change who I am to be friends with you. No.
Like, I'm still me. I don't have to change who I am to be friends with them.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think for me, I find it difficult for people that can't befriend other cultures. They don't know how. They don't know how to engage with them. It's almost like they feel like they have to be something else in order to engage, or they have to pretend to be something else. So when we were choosing schools for my boys, my number one thing was I want you to go to a school that is mixed.
Okay.
And I caught a lot of flack.
Really?
Behind that. Oh my God. How dare you not send your Black sons to an HBCU?
Okay.
You know what an HBCU is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those who don't know, it's a historically Black college or university. Like, how dare you not do that? Like, are they even on? We didn't even apply. I didn't even put that on the application list.
Okay.
Because I already knew that wasn't what I wanted for them.
You wanted diversity.
Not because I needed diversity. They grew up in a predominantly Black environment.
Okay.
They are a part of a predominantly Black family. We have taught them what they needed to know about being Black. Like, there's not so much more that a Black university can teach my kids about being who they are, right?
Right.
But I wanted them to have access to people from other countries.
Okay.
To people from other backgrounds, from different parts of this country, that they have yet to understand that these areas are different from what you're accustomed to. Yeah. Right? And so that was the whole purpose of them going to that school, is because I want them to, and actually it's paying off.
Okay.
It is paying off because now they are getting more culturally diverse, and they have, especially my oldest, he does not understand. Let me change how I say that. He does understand racism.
Okay.
He gets it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where it comes from. He understands how it manifests, and he understands how it affects people.
Mm-hmm.
However, he doesn't accept it.
Okay.
Because he's been like this since he was little, okay? He doesn't accept it because he feels like, and he's absolutely right, there's no purpose.
Amen.
And he was in the 5th grade the first time he told me that. He was like, Mom, there's no purpose. Why does it matter if this person is Black, white, Indian, Asian? Why does that matter?
It doesn't.
There's no purpose.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Nope.
It doesn't matter. And so I learned from him that at some point I was teaching him what I was taught about racism.
Yep. It's learned behavior.
Thank God he took it for what I wanted him to take it for, and didn't internalize it and make it something negative that he held against other people.
Right.
And I think that's the difference. I think when we're trying, some of us, when we're trying to educate our kids on what you should expect when you go outside of your home, we're basically teaching them how to profile, how to have racial motivations.
Okay.
Instead of teaching them that, no, it's okay. You just need to know that other people may look at you or treat you a certain way. Doesn't mean that you have to reciprocate. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
So he took the lesson the way it was intended, but I can honestly see how a lot of people wouldn't take that lesson how it was intended.
Right.
But having them at a diverse university has done so much for them.
That's good.
So much for them. Yeah, to the point where now he wants to go to Japan.
See, I have a similar experience but unfortunately with my kids, it kind of worked in two different directions. In that when we moved to the border of Mexico, we thought it was a great thing because it would teach the kids about a different culture, and they would be able to spend time with other children that didn't look the same as them, and that was important to me. Because where we were, we didn't have a lot of that. So we went to a place where they did. Unfortunately, on the other side of that coin was also a lot of times where Tegan didn't go to sleepovers when she was really little. She did when she was a bit older, but when she was really little, she was never invited because she was white. And the excuse that was given to me if I asked, and I stopped asking after a while because I started to understand what was going on. But in the beginning, I didn't understand, and I did ask, and I was told that it was because she probably won't like the food, and she won't understand what's going on because no one in the house speaks English except for the kids. And I said, but that's okay. She can learn, and she goes to school with these kids all the time, so there shouldn't be a problem. And she's okay with the food. She likes Mexican food. So I started to understand when the twins were not invited to birthday parties, or when we would invite kids to come to our house, they wouldn't come. They would never come to our house. But you can come, but they could go to their house, but their kids could not come to our house. And I started to notice things like that. And there was a lot of times where we had to have a sit down with the kids, and, at dinner time, we would sit and have the conversation. Like, it's not something you did. It's not you. And it's not them. It's just, it is what it is. I hate saying that, but it is what it is. It's just something that you have to understand, that maybe they're just not comfortable because you're different, and because of something in their home that is different than in our home. And that's okay. You can still be friends at school, and you can still keep inviting them. And that's what they did. They kept inviting these kids, even when they repeatedly kept saying, I can't, my parents won't let me. Well, that's okay. I just thought I'd include you. I just want to include you, Yeah. So that's what we taught them, was don't take it personally, because it's not you that they don't like. It's not you that they're not including. It's just something that they have been taught, that you're different, and they don't, for whatever reason, they're just not comfortable. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, I know that you know what I'm saying.
That they are perceiving to be there.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we're all different, but at the end of the day, if you don't understand why you have an issue with the differences that you can see, then you'll never grow past it. And I often wonder, we all grow up playing with, having friends in school, playing with different races, and just having a good time.
Yep.
At what point is it our teenage years?
I think it's the teenage
years. Is it our
years.
young adult years when we decide, oh no, we don't want to be around those people. We don't want to deal with those people.
I don't
when
know.
When do we start drawing that line in the sand?
I don't know, because I've never done it. So I don't know.
I haven't either.
Yeah, so I can't answer that. If there's any racists that are watching this program, which I highly doubt, considering the fact that it is a mixed host kind of show. If there are any out there, I'm totally okay with you telling me why. Please tell me why, because I'd really like to understand.
Because at the end of the day, I really enjoy having conversations with my non-Black friends when that kind of expose them to my life, my experiences being a Black woman.
I know I like to listen to you, Lynn. I do.
It's different. I'm like,
you're different.
Listen, I have a girlfriend that makes homemade sourdough bread.
I am going to be trying that this year.
It's a family thing that she's been doing for years. And I'm like, first of all, she introduced me to sourdough bread. I was like, what the hell is that? Sour bread?
You've never had it?
I didn't know what it was. But this was about 10 years ago when I was introduced to it. But I was like, what is it? And she bought me some.
It's good, right?
It's amazing. It's really, really good. Okay, and it definitely doesn't taste like the crap that's in the store. Okay? That is total crap. You got to get the homemade sourdough.
But you have to do the starter and everything.
That's the thing. She was telling me about this whole starter thing with the yeast and all that. And I was like, I don't need to know how you made it, because it doesn't sound very appetizing. But the end result is great. We can deal with the end result. But she had never had collard greens.
I have.
Like, how did you not have collard greens? She was like, we never had those growing up. I was like, what did y'all eat? She said spinach.
Ew, I hate spinach. Ugh.
And I was like, spinach? Like,
it's not the same.
I mean, I don't cook my spinach. I like my spinach raw. I'm not a big fan of
I prefer it raw, but I did grow up with it all slime. My mother would cook it, and always with liver. And it was liver and spinach. Yeah. and it was slimy and it was disgusting, and sometimes
What a combination.
it's just nasty. Yeah, just nasty. My mom was into
All
the
that
health
is
food
bitter.
stuff. Yeah.
That's a plate of bitterness.
That's just sadness. It's pure sadness. And we had to sit at the table until we were done. So thank God we had a big dog that we could just sort of drop things on the floor and he ate them. But anyway, I just realized that we have now done 2 hours, Lynn.
2 hours of a show, and I did not do a giveaway this week, so we'll do one next week.
We'll do one next week, but I do know that Rena, she subscribed. She liked and subscribed, and so did Lori, because they both told me that they did. So we have to remember that for next time.
I'm going to write that down so I can make sure. Yes. Rena and which Lori?
Lori. The one from Vancouver, the one that was just logged on this morning to the beginning of the show.
Her? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that Lori M?
Is it Lori M? No, I don't think so. Lori Ann.
We do have a Lori M.
Lori Ann.
Robert, you have to subscribe to the YouTube channel in order to be put in the drawing.
Yes. You have to please like and subscribe. We will forgive the fact that you're a diehard mega whatever.
No,
we forgive you.
Robert.
Okay.
I'm going to convert Robert.
Okay.
We're going to bring him out of the darkness into the light.
Yep. Well, he puts up with me, so he's not a bad guy.
No, the fact that he stayed with the show this long.
Maybe we are educating him. Maybe that's what it is. See, Robert? I mean, you're Mexican.
Trump
Lynn is...
coming. I hear Trump coming.
Oh, stop it! Oh, dear. There goes our ratings.
What the fuck?
That's Trump.
There goes our ratings. What's the matter? Lynn's having a problem. Are you okay?
Oh, you're on some bullshit.
Oh, no, I did not. Uh-oh. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my
That's
God.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I didn't do it. I have an alibi. Robert, I have an alibi. Many women try to. I believe that. Yes, I believe that, Robert. I like to get different. I know, this is what I was trying to tell Lynn, that you are one of those weird Republicans that I can actually talk to about the differences and you listen. I mean, you poke Aaron's buttons, but you do have the capability to listen, and I appreciate that. What's going on, Lynn? What's bullshit? Oh, dear.
So, like...
Oh.
My business line has expired, according to them.
Oh.
And it's bullcrap because
you can say bullshit because you already did.
Yeah, right. It did not. And yeah, so I may have to get a completely different phone number for my business.
Oh.
I've had this number for like 12 years.
Oh, dear. Well, yell at somebody. Sometimes when you...
I know. I'm going to have to... But, tomorrow's a holiday and all the crap. By the time I yell, it's
shit.
Tuesday.
I forgot tomorrow's a holiday.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
So...
Trump's actually being inaugurated on a holiday? Damn. That's not good. That's going to... His ego is just going to...
That's what they do for felons.
Yeah, right.
The biggest racist in the country is being inaugurated on Martin Luther King holiday. That is like the biggest slap.
Isn't that that is just?
He's a white guy.
And he's yeah. But I believe he's a card carrying member. Let's not. There is no mistake. I haven't seen the card, but I guarantee you there is some linen in his closet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even Robert agrees.
See, Robert agrees. And apparently you're okay with it, Robert, which I am not happy about. That is not okay. That's just gross. Amen, Rena. Are we still going or no? I think we're gonna have to call it because we're just going on and on. So we're going to run some commercials right now. And I do need to say that people will have to tune in tomorrow at 3:30 to Go Live Vegas. And Lynn, I'm gonna maybe if you are available at 3:30 tomorrow, which would be 6:30 for you. If you are available, I would like you to tune in as well, because Midlife Mischief is going to be hosting a very special event on Valentine's Day. And we're going to tell you about it tomorrow. And we're going to tell you what we're up to. And I would love for Lynn to be part of it, and you will be. And I'll tell you how I figured out you can be. But I'll do that tomorrow because we run out of time. We ran out of time an hour ago, but we've now run out of time. So in the meantime, we are going to run a commercial for Voodoo. Is that right, honey? Which is my, I can show you my shirt.
Oh, cool.
Voodoo Brewing Company, which is downtown in the Arts District. Are you running the commercial? Oh, we're gonna do that on the way out. Okay, we're gonna run the commercial on the way out. So Lynn, I love you, and I will talk to you after we're done. And if you're available at 3:30, Lynn, we're gonna get you to come back tomorrow as well. Mary is gonna be in the studio because she's going to co-host when you can't. But we will be able to logistically, but it's just going to be a whole thing on Valentine's Day. And Brett is also going to be in the studio with us.
Yay!
Because Brett is also part of it, and I'd like you to meet Brett. And we will talk about that tomorrow. And in the meantime, enjoy your Sunday and have a very good and happy Martin Luther King Day, watching HGTV for the day tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. And we will
Good night.
see you soon. Mwah, good night.
Come on down to the good old bar. Craft beer is never too far. Like I do every night. Fill the crew and get it right. Raise the glass, raise the you hat. Dance around, let them play. Voodoo Boys a place to stay.
You're already a work of art, meant to be enjoyed. So Las Vegas has a question. Have you been Portnoy?
Visit Portnoy Gallery, home of the famous illustrator to the stars, Neil Portnoy, or click on PortnoyGallery.com.
You're already a work of art, meant to be enjoyed. So Las Vegas has a question. Have you been Portnoy?
Go Live Vegas Studios, a unique multi-camera social media virtual content creators paradise. We offer high-end services using live streaming and film production for your personal or corporate, commercial or event and campaign needs. Pre-record or live stream to your audience on multiple social media platforms simultaneously. Fun and interactive with social media comments, phone lines, live remotes, audio Foley sounds, and Snapchat filters. Be creative, get recognized, and make money. We help you by providing an all in-house production team. Visit our website at golive.vegas. Go Live.